Good morning from Sweden. I hope you are well. So this is the 21st of February 2026 and this morning's I Ching Reflection, where we are looking at the energies around us and getting a guide on how to navigate them best in order to have the most smooth and joyous way forward. So we're starting by centering ourselves, by coming back into the present, because what I mean by that is usually our mind is elsewhere. It's often like somewhere, or most often I'd say for most of us, absolutely somewhere in the past or in the future, worrying about we need to do this and do we have time, or in the past where we're grieving someone or something that happened in the past, and it's very rarely here in the present moment. And it's in the present moment that we can find joy and centering, because this is where we're at, right? It's not been tainted by the past. And with that, I don't necessarily mean it's something bad, right? We can have really happy memories, or even grief could bring joy, right? We're remembering somebody in our life that we've lost for whatever reason, by death, or maybe at the end of a relationship or something, right? Maybe an argument that we regret. I don't know. But it's, or we just might think about somebody who said something funny. And also for the future, we might anticipate something joyful as well. And as well as, worrying about where's the money is going to come from to pay for these bills, or, oh, would I keep my job, or I don't know, would I find a job, or would I have somewhere to live? It might be just different types of things, right? But here in the present moment, this is where we can actually do something, right? This is where we can change our future. We do that here in the present moment. When our thoughts are elsewhere, then we cannot do anything. It's difficult to do anything, right? We're becoming scattered. So actually being here in the present moment, there is no memory of the past, and there is no anticipation of the future either. It's just here now. So when we bring our mind and our spirit into this moment, we are whole. Like if we can manage to bring everything into this present moment, then this is when we're whole. And this is where we can create, right? This is where we are creating. Setting the seed for the next step and for our path forward, okay? And by doing that, and how we do this, could be a very simple practice. We first empty the lungs out completely, and then we start breathing in and out through our nose into the stomach, and feeling the stomach expand as we breathe in and contract as we breathe out. And then focus on your stomach and of the air that comes through your nostrils all the way down your throat into your lungs, all the way at the bottom of your lungs. And that is allowing the stomach to expand and contract. And actually it's the diaphragm. When we're using the diaphragm to breathe, pulling the air down, all the way down, then that's what's making the stomach expand and contract. And when we're doing this, we're also pressing the diaphragm down on the organs below, and we're actually giving them a massage. So softening the fascia around the organs, which is bringing health and vitality to your organs as well. And now I'd like you to focus on the the lower dantian. And this is an energy point which is right in the center of you. So it's about 2-3 fingers below your navel and about 2-3 fingers inside within you, and it's like a little cauldron or a energy field, And as you breathe in into the lower dantian, it expands, and as you breathe out, it contracts. And as you breathe in, it expands. And as you breathe out, it contracts. And focus on this energy field in the side of you. And as you breathe in, you're bringing all the thoughts in your head into the lower dantian. And as you breathe out, you're giving them, sending them down into Mother Earth. As you breathe in, into the lower dantian, bringing your thoughts down into your stomach, into the lower dantian, and then as you breathe out, you send them down, further down into your legs, feet, into Mother Earth, giving them to Mother Earth, okay? Allowing her to transform them. Okay, so let's start the reading. So how are the energies around us and how do we best transmute them? Or transmute them in order to have the most joyous and smooth day ahead. So that was I was not saying that correctly, but I think that was actually meant to be. So heaven, earth, fire, water, thunder, wind, wood, mountain, lake. So we have thunder. Yeah, thunder has been with us quite a bit. So if we've got thunder as the primary gua, which is thunder below and thunder above, thunder within, thunder up without. That's the hexagram shock, okay? And it's got two yin lines resting on a yang line. Called Jen. And it's the movement. And this is, we have the thunder. Yesterday we had the thunder without. It was like on the upper hexagram. And we had an earth below. And that was a delight, right? And today it's within. So we're having, going through, it's like we're having, I think there's lots going on within us today. There's lots of great changes. For me, what's going on, it's like I'm actually moving out of my apartment. My brother is coming to get some stuff, all my clothes and all my things that I'm keeping, because I'm leaving my apartment and I actually got rid of lots of things in my life and just minimalize, and then I'm going to be more of a vagabond over the next year or so, just moving around more rather than be staying put in one spot. And that would be in Sweden and Europe primarily. So my brother is actually coming to bring my clothes and lots of things to my parents, because I'm going to be staying with them for a few days before I head off to Lisbon in Portugal. So today it's like just getting all the last things together, like packing the things I'm going to keep, and then packing a big pile of things, of the last things that I'm throwing. And then I'm calling somebody as well. It's called Tip Tap here in Sweden. Tip is we go, which is the recycling point, really. It's a short term for that. And they come actually, and you can call people who actually come and collect your stuff for you and then take it to the rubbish. Or they can sell some of the things to do. I don't know what they do. But anyway, I'm doing that, so there's lots going on in my life. So that's a little bit, so I've got to keep the thunder in check within, it seems like, because it's probably, there's lots happening today. Which it comes with stress, right? Moving out, it does. Just, am I keeping the right things? Am I, it's a big change, but it's a good change. I feel good about it. Okay, so, and how is the energy around us, and how do we best transmute it in order to have the most smooth and joyous day forward? Okay, heaven, earth, fire, water, thunder, wind, wood, mountain, lake. So we have fire above, fire, So fire, so illumination above the shock. So the shock within is going to allow us to see clearly without, right, what's going on. Okay, so let's find out which is the changing line as well. Just going to write Li, fire, of a Chen. So this year, it's the year of the fire horse. So it's a very active fire horse, both the horse is all about independence and making action and moving. Like the horse always moves, right? It's always on the move. It's a prey animal, isn't it? So it doesn't stand still very often in the wild, and it's always alert to what's going on around, and it's moving over large land, like long distance, like constantly on the move. The horse, so that's the energy of that. And then on top of that, it's the fire horse, which is like fire, which is a lot of action and it's illumination. And right. So this year we need to, I think maybe this is why Earth has been so prevalent. One of the reasons why it's been so prevalent for us, like learning, like over this last few weeks, like learning to ground ourselves, no matter what is going on around us. We can always be grounded. So this is the ideal situation. It doesn't, when we get to the point that it's such peace within, it doesn't matter what's going on around us. We're not being rattled. We're not being shocked, right? It's not affecting us. We can obviously, we can always stay clear-minded and we can always stay at peace in order to, be able to actually consider our next step forward. Right? To have a clear mind rather than getting into panic or being angry and upset and all this, that sort of just shuts our minds down. So then we can't make any wise decisions. We're just rushing in and reacting to things. But if we can sink down into this Mother Earth feeling, having this calm center, being calm and nourishing and responding at all times, then we can make really wise decisions because we have more clarity. And this is what Lee speaks about, the fire, that we have this clarity, that we can see clearly. It's like, so if we light a fire, we can see in the dark, right? So here we go. Initial 9, second 6, third 6. So it's a yin line changing into a yang. So we have brilliance. Here's one of the primary guas. We have fire, we're moving into that, and that's brilliance, okay? So it's fire over fire. So we're really moving into a place where we can starting to see clearly exactly what's going on around us, right? And I think this earth grounding energy that we had has allowed us to start seeing clearly, to start looking really properly. So, and then let's have a look. So we got yin, yin, yang, which is mountain, we are still. And this is stillness. Mountain is stillness. And they got yin, yang, yin, and then we have water, yin, yang, yin, which are water below. And this is the advanced gua, or the hidden gua. It's more as an energy that is affecting us, but it's not so much. It's more something like the thunder in the distance. We can hear it, but it doesn't really affect us right now. It's not above us. So it hasn't come here yet. So we've got Gen, and then Kan. Let me just have a look. So we got yin, yin, yang, yin. Yeah. So water, it's about depth and sort of being able to go deep into. And then it's also about flowing, but it's the winter energy. It's like a withdrawal as well. And things are slowing down, and then when we are slowing down, and the mountain, which is stillness as well, that allows us to get into this point when we can actually watch and see and listen rather than rushing in and talking and doing things, okay? Yes, so let's have a look and see what the hexagrams actually are. before I continue. So we got fire, Li over thunder, which is 21. I think this might be a new hexagram that we haven't had yet. So we got Li over Li, which is 30, which I'm quite sure is brilliance. And it's also one that we haven't had together here and we haven't got any deeper into. So I'm really excited for this day, see what it comes from. So what the advanced, what comes out of it. So advanced, this is water and over mountain, which is 39. I recognize this one. I'm thinking about like a cloud above the mountain, wrapping it around. So this one, I recognize. I can't remember the name right now, but we'll soon know, soon enough. It really feels like we have had a shift now over the last few days. Something shifted again. The earth energy has really been enveloping us, allowing us to ground ourselves. So eradicating, she here, eradicating, maybe we had. I think we've had this one, but that's like a month ago or something. It was a while ago. This feels like an energy that's coming back a little bit. It might have, let's see, is it metal? No, it's fire, of course. It is fire energy, so we're burning things away, fire. So we've got fire over thunder, 10. Fire over thunder, so we're eradicating. And here we've had darkness, but in darkness we had a few times actually. We're not being able to see, but after darkness comes brightness. And this is where we are, fire over fire, which is brightness. Which it should be, it is Li, of course, and then it should be, and it's the last one of the hexagrams in the upper canon, which is the heavenly canon, and now we're moving into the lower canon, which is after 30, that's moving into the lower canon, which is more of the earthly energy, like it's all about the humanity. The upper canon is the Tao of heaven, and the lower is more Tao of humanity. I think, don't quote me on that one. I need to check into that one, but it feels like that. It's like the creation, the ultimate creation, and then it's the and then the humanity is our conduct and how we, what we are doing more. So fire. Fire again, so lots of fire energy, and this is an energy that we have not had an awful lot of, to be honest. Not a lot of fire energy, but it's definitely, as we are grounded, 39. Yes, it's hardship. We had this yesterday, of course. And it was in the same spot, I think. Let's have a look. Yeah, hardship. We had hardship in the same. As here with thunder over earth, and then we had fire, and we could see over earth. So it's actually, you could see the progress here, but this is still like it's lingering in hardship, right? It's in and that's water then apparently. Water over mountain. So let's actually start with that one, I think, for today. Just to see the energy that is affecting us, but more sort of not so strongly. It's something that's sort of underneath all this. Just having a sip of coffee. So Jan. Again, apologize for my pronunciation, but it meant a lame or lame person. Difficulty in walking or hardship. Obstruction or trouble. Hardship. If there's a misunderstanding and diversity in a household, surely hardship will result. Thus, after diversity, hardship follows. So this is like the underlying energy. So here we go. Water is darkness. Mountain is keeping still. So like is it water is darkness, right? So if you look at so I said here, it's kan over kan. Kan over kan is darkness, right? And water is the season of the winter. This is when we go into ultimate darkness. At least here in the it'd be at least here in the northern hemisphere. Well, it would be the same in the southern hemisphere. It'd just be the opposite month. It would be the same month. So like in the southern hemisphere, you've got winter in when it's summer here, and the opposite, right? Water is darkness, a mountain is keeping still. If it is not the right time to overcome hardship, one should keep still. Keeping still does not mean giving up. It is just yielding to the situation and waiting for a more auspicious time. If the proper time comes, it is favourable to seek union or to consult a noble person for constructive advice. Any premature advance will entail risk. Overcoming hardship depends on the correct time, situation and companions. In Chinese terms, heaven, earth and human beings, the three primary elements. Yeah, this is it. And I think this is hardship. It keeps on coming up as well. But it's not come up as maybe once, I'm not sure, but it's usually as the underlying energy. And this is, right, is still speaking about, although we're getting all this action like here with the fire, right? This action, speaking about action, is still like, would need to be, look at the timing, right? It's always timing is always correct. So there's never rushing forward, crazily, right? Then we must consider the timing. Right now, it might not be the time to move forward. And it seems like this is the underlying energy. So keeping still and watching. It doesn't mean that we stop, right? We keep on taking moves, making moves, taking steps forwards, but they are more tentatively, right? Like watching a lot, right? And then if there is, like if you're in a situation where you're not very happy, you stay in that situation, like unless it's dangerous. Of course, if you're in a volatile relationship, but like your life is at risk or you're getting hurt, right? You need to get out, right? You don't stay then. Like, so yeah, that's very important for you to understand. Or if you're in a war zone, well, you need to get out. Like, there's not much time to think, right? Although here is very important. So it is favorable to seek, if the proper time comes, right? If you're in that kind of situation, the proper time is here now. And then it is definitely, it is favorable to seek union or to consult a noble person for constructive advice. Reach out to organizations that can help you. Talk to people that can help you, right? Get help from people that you can trust, you feel you can trust, right? If you're in an abusive relationship, there might be a woman's, organization that help like abused women, for example. That's wonderful to go to. For example, right? So now if you're in that kind of, then this is if they're in a dangerous situation, now's the time to move. However, right, still seek advice as well, if you can, right? How do I do this best? And sometimes the advice must come from you, and then maybe a few moments of stillness to consider that if you have that opportunity, of course. Otherwise, for us, it's like, waiting for the right time. And waiting does not mean not doing anything. It's not just sitting down and just waiting for things to come around. It's like we're making plans. Like, so if you're in a situation where you're not very happy, right? You're in a relationship that you're not very happy in, you're not abused or anything like that, but you're not very happy in that. Or if you're in a work situation where you're not very happy, right? You are making plans. You stay still. Right? You don't move, you don't leave and have nothing to replace it with, right? With a work situation, for example, or a house that's not very nice, for example. But you don't pack your bags and, this is exactly what I've done, actually. But for me, this is right timing, right? But you don't leave this, right? You actually plan and see something to exchange for instead. Okay, you find, so this is the timing, right? and you're keeping still in the place, but you're actually making moves and plans and finding other where you're going to go next, right? So that's what we're talking about here. Okay. And I love this one. If one loves others, they do not respond in the same way, and they do not respond in the same way. One should turn inward and examine one's own love. Yeah. Right. This might be a hard bite to take, right? That we are responsible for how others are treating us. No, I'm not saying you are responsible. If somebody is, sorry, I take that back. We are not responsible for how other people treat us. They are responsible for how they treat us, right? If somebody is being terrible to you, hurtful or bullies or abusive or in any sort of way, it's them, entirely them. That's not you, okay? It's entirely their responsibility. However, your responsibility is to start to take your confidence back, start working on yourself so you become strong, so you can actually start building strong boundaries and then heal yourself and building strong boundaries so you can start saying no or moving away, right? And not stop reacting too much to them, and yeah, learning to know that you are precious. You're absolutely precious. You have all the right to be joyful and live a great life without having abuses around. Okay, so that's what I'm talking about. So if somebody is an a-hole, it's them. That's nothing to do about you, right? That's not your responsibility. However, to heal yourself, it is your responsibility. Nobody can do that for you. And that's for your benefit, right, in the long run. Okay. And if you need help, take help. Do that. Yeah, do that, definitely. But it comes, right? So if one loves others and they do not respond in the same way, one should turn inward and examine one's own love. How much do you love yourself? Right? How much do you love yourself? You don't love yourself, right? You look down on yourself? Right? So this is what I'm talking about. If you love yourself, if you feel like, oh God, I'm actually quite good. I do not deserve this person treating me like this, then you can put up strong boundaries and walk away and say, nope, that's not good. That's not good enough. I don't want that in my life. Please, stop. That's what this sentence is talking about. What are you allowing? Right? And I know, oh God, I'm not saying this is easy. I've been on this journey myself for a long time to actually coming back to a place where I start respecting myself enough to actually set strong boundaries. So I'm not saying it's easy just from one day to another. It generally, usually it's not, right? But you need to start. If you're not there, you need to start on that journey, okay? Really do. That if one treats other politely and they do not return politeness, one should turn inward and examine one's own politeness. Yeah. Are you polite to yourself? How do you treat yourself? Do you put yourself in the center? Do you treat yourself? Or do you just, sink in front of others, right? That's here. When one does not realize what one desires, one must turn inward and examine oneself in every point. Yeah. What is it that you truly want? What is your heart crying out? What is it that your heart wants? What that flame that has been put out, right? Because we all have our purpose here. We have something our soul is crying out for. What we're here to do. But so often it's been dimmed by trauma and like a conditioning and all these kind of things. We've sort of lost our view, so we cannot see clearly. But actually we're coming in here. We're coming into the light, right? We're starting to see what is our duty, what is our sole purpose. So duty is like, I think it's little exceeding or great exceeding. It's speaking about the hexagram, right? Speak is great exceeding. And it's speaking about our duty. And our duty is like our soul's purpose. What is the spark? What light makes your heart sing, right? So, and if you can't see that, this is your heart's desire, right? If you can't see that, well, you need to start healing yourself so you can sort of light this fire again, in order to follow your heart, in order to hear what your heart is crying out for. This passage reveals the true spirit of what the ancient sages learned from this. Wow. Yeah, so that's it. That's the underlying energy, and it keeps on being there, right? We need to go within and heal ourselves, right? And see, do you love yourself? Are you polite to yourself? How do you speak to yourself? Do you look yourself in the mirror and go, oh, God, I wish I didn't have that, and look at those jowls, or oh, my droopy eyelids, or my nose is so big, or whatever it is that you look at and you go like, oh, I don't like that, right? That's not very polite to yourself, is it? No. You should look at yourself in the mirror and go like, hey girl, or hey boy, hey man, whatever you say, like, yeah, you're pretty cool. But it comes with humbleness. Like, it's not like, oh, I am so great, like I'm greater than everyone. That's not it. We're all the same. We're all the same. We have the same value, the same essence, the same core. There's no difference, right? But you need to know that you are that too. You deserve everything that is good in this world, in this universe, everything you do. And you need to look at your face in the mirror and go like, oh God, yeah, I love you, right? You're great. Let's go out and do some good stuff for other people and animals and beings, and yeah, right? That's what this is all about. And hardship, we get hardship when we don't believe in ourselves and when we push ourselves down. That's when we're suffering. Like that's a source of suffering. Like so much source of suffering comes from our own mind and our own belief structure, belief system, that we believe that we're not worthy. Right? We're not beautiful enough. We're not rich enough. We're not, whatever the story you keep on telling you that you are not enough. I tell you, you are enough. Right? You are just perfect the way you are. Your essence is exactly the same as everyone else, and you are beautiful enough. Just look at that face. It's amazing. Do that. Yeah, I love you. You should love yourself. So come on, let's move into the main. That's only the underlying energy. So let's move into the main energy, which is eradicating 21. Ah, it's a bite. So this is so she means to bite. So that we got like we have an obstruction here before we can see clearly, right? So we need to eliminate that. So these are lips and these are teeth. And this is the mouth, and here's something we need to chomp down on, but it's in the way, so we cannot. It's in the way, so we need to eradicate that before we can move forward. Yeah. He means to close and unite. She means to bite. She, he, close and unite. Literally, she, he is to close the mouth to bite. And then we cannot unite if there's an obstruction. So if we've got like a big wall, right, and one person on the one side and another person on the other side, and they cannot meet, right, unless we take down the wall. Okay, when things are worthy of careful attention, surely people will draw close together. So careful attention. That's after watching closing together follows. Yeah, so we have, this is what I'm talking about, like finding the right time. We need to watch. And this is what the Mother Earth is like, watching and responding. Right? So we can watch, so we can actually make wise action, considered action. Right? The steps we take are considered. Right? It comes out of wisdom, out of knowledge, because we watched and listened first. So here we go. She is a beautiful picture of an act of divination. Here we have like is that a cauldron? The first character, she consists of two parts. On the left, a small square represents an open mouth. There we go. All right, both open mouth, open mouth. On the right, there is an ideographic she, which provides only the sound of the character, with no implication as to significance. However, the ideographic she is a beautiful picture of an act of divination. At the top, two little plants represent yarrow stalks, 2 little plants there. In the lower portion, there are 2 people in the hall. The horizontal line above them represents a roof. The horizontal line below represents the floor. So roof, floor. And these are 2 people, and there's an open mouth as well. The vertical line between them symbolizes a post or a pillar. At the top, no, here we go. Yeah, okay, so that's the top. There's 2 people up, and there's a pillar, post or pillar. 2 persons are kneeling on the floor, face to face. One is the diviner and one is the diviner, and the other is the inquirer. When this character is combined with the mouth to the left, it means biting. The ideograph of the second character here is also consisting of 2 parts. So yeah, we're still here, right? So this is the roof, these are the plants, and there's an open mouth. So it's like a kneeling and the diviner and the inquiry. So it's inquire and to divine, right? To get the answer. So seeing, it's also about seeing clearly, like the fire, right? So inquire, is this correct, right? What is my next step? So inquiry before movement forward, although this is an action, very much thunder within, fire above. But it's enlightened movement. Thunder is movement, right? Fire is an illuminated movement. So on the left there's another mouth. Let's have a look. Eradicating reveals the principle of administering justice by removing obstructions in a peaceful community. To administer justice, sometimes punishment is necessary, but the punishment should be appropriate. So we need to, in order to keep peace, we need to eradicate elements that are not very peaceful, right? If something is causing disturbance, then this needs to be eradicated. We need to remove that. And sometimes the only thing what we can do is set strong boundaries. And with the advice we've had, that's all we can do. Actually, not even taking something out. It's just very strong boundaries, energetic boundaries, and showing here, but no further, right? If this is a toxic person or toxic persons, for example, like this is the self-love that we're talking about here. Like, how much are you loving yourself? Are you setting the correct boundaries? Are you letting people walk all over you? Right? But when you self-love and you're being polite to yourself, right? I deserve this, right? Politeness must be to oneself first, right? And then you listen to your soul's heart's desire. But sometimes the eradicating, we need to take out what doesn't belong, right? What upsets the harmony, what upsets the peace. And sometimes that must be harsher eradication. Sometimes somebody has to go to jail because they're stealing or they're killing or they're doing all sorts of things, right? They're not very good. So they might have to go to jail or something, right? Or sometimes it's just strong boundaries, right? Here, you cannot walk further than here. Like you stay where you are, but just you cannot mess with me. That's okay, right? So let's have a look at the decision. Eradicating prosperous and smooth, favorable to administer justice. So commentary, let's go deeper. There is something in the mouth. It is called eradication. Through eradication, prosperity and smoothness comes. The firm and the yielding are equally divided. The movement and the brightness are clearly shown. So movement, thunder, brightness above. And then the firm and the yieldings, we've got 3 yang line and we've got 3 yin line. So there's like a balance in that, although they're not all in the correct places. But it starts yang, yin, yang, yin, yang, yin. So actually, there's only one that is in the correct place. The first one, no, 2, yang, yin. The first 2, and so that might be the host of the guan because it's in the correct place and it's resting on a yang line. But let's have a look at that. That's just my guessing. Opposed to the graph, 5th, 6th, no, so it's this one. So it's the yin line in between two young elements. So it's nourishing the young elements so they can move forward, I guess. I don't know. Let's have a look, continue looking forward. The firm and the yielding are equally divided. The movement and the brightness are clearly shown. So movement within and brightness without, because we can make the move, because we can eradicate, because we can see the decay, right? When we see the decay without, then we can start to make a movement to eradicate it. We can take it out, okay? Because we don't want the toxicity, and we don't want decay or something old or something that is not very good. It upsets the harmony and the peace, because then it's difficult to create something beautiful with that around. So thunder and lightning are united and manifest their brilliance. Thunder and lightning, right? The yielding is in the central place and rules in its high position. Okay, here it actually talks about the and rules in its high position. So this is the host of the Gua. Of course, it says here on this line, although the place is not appropriate, it is disfavorable to administer justice. Okay. So I'm not going to talk more about that. I'll just repeat myself. So thunder and lightning, an image of eradicating in correspondence with this. The ancient king clarified the penalties and strengthened the law. So when we strengthen the law, we look at the law. Is this correct? Like, is this, like, we might have to update the law. And this is for us, the belief system, the belief structures we have. Is this correct? Is it okay that this person walks all over me? No. Right? We need to strengthen the law within us, right? And go, no, that's not fine, right? I am worthy of, having a great life, and this person cannot walk all over me, right? Just there's the boundary. And we don't have to shout and yell and scream with that one. When we are firm from within, we got stability within, there is only small movements. There's only little things we can show. We don't have to do a lot of things, and people can feel it, right? Here, no further. And that's when true boundaries comes from within, because it comes from the stillness, the stability within, and people can feel it, right? Because you are a stable energy field, and they're not even going to try, or they might try and they get burnt immediately. Only by your presence, not by shouting and screaming and using weapons or whatever, right? That's weakness. That is weakness. That's imbalance. Shouting and screaming and yelling and shooting and using weapons. That's weakness. That's not strength. That's weakness, right? Strength comes from within. It comes from compassion for yourself and all sentient beings. And with that, I include all animals as well, okay? Insects, everything. Trees, plants, everything. All sentient beings, all living beings, everything that lives on this planet. Okay. So let's have a look at the changing line, which is the third 6. Biting cured meat strikes a thick piece, slight humiliation, no fault. Strike on a thick piece, the position is not appropriate. Slight humiliation. So this might not be the time to make any great big strides to eliminate. Let's have a look. The Yao text says, biting cured meat strikes a thick piece. The third line is a yin element of the yang place, neither central nor correct. Its yielding attribute denotes that the executive is hesitant and irresolute. I don't even know how to pronounce or what it means, that word. During the process of administering justice, there would be some hardship. It corresponds to the yang element at the uppermost place. One in that position is brutal. It is not an easy task to deal with brutality, as it is not easy to bite a thick piece of meat. Okay, so this is, it is difficult. At the moment, it's not very easy. So, but what we're trying to eradicate is someone that's quite brutal, or something that's quite brutal. Like, it's not easy. Like, it's a really, so we're trying to get at this point, right? But when we manage to bite through, we will start to see clearly, right? We're removing this, and then we're going to have full view, because we're going into brightness. And let's have a look at brightness. What it says. And the Li is the opposite of the preceding Gua Kan, which is darkness, right? Let's have a look at the decision. No, hang on, the sequence first. When falling into darkness, one is certain to attach to something. Thus, after darkness comes attaching to each other and to brightness. So this biting into this, like, we're actually coming out of darkness because this big bite that we've been trying to eradicate has been quite dark energy. Like, it's been a very dark energy that we've been trying to eradicate. Who is in our energy field, like within our circle, right, of people, or could be a world thing as well. But it's like biting through this and eradicating that nicely, and allows us to see clearly. But we're coming into this now where we're actually being able to eradicate this negative energy in our life, right? So we're moving, so we're attaching to brightness, and we're attaching to each other, to all this, the feudal lords that we gathered like yesterday, and all the people that we've been gathering around us by being truthfully and sincerely us, right? No backstabbing, no slagging off, no nothing, right? Just being honest and truthfully, but not like pinpointing at, oh, look at those are so bad, and oh, he's been, we are just being stable within speaking our truth, but not in a way we're wanting to hurt. And then in this way, we gather respect from other people, right? Of being a stable source of energy and somebody it can rely on. Because when we go and slag off people talk badly about people behind the back, the people who are listening are not going to trust you, because, although they might not consciously think it, but subconsciously they'll be thinking, oh, what is she saying behind my back? Or what is he saying behind my back, right? That does not create stability and trust. It doesn't. So if that's something you do, you need to stop doing that immediately, okay? It doesn't mean that you shouldn't speak your truth though, but that's a whole different energy, right? Then you try to find the words where, without harming words, right? Without putting down words, or without anything, speaking your truth, right? This is what I need help with. This is the situation I am with, from your point of view, not from, oh, look at them over there, right? Okay, so those are different, right? Brightness, favorable, to be steadfast and upright, prosperous and smooth, raise a cow, good fortune. Okay, commentary, let's move on and see if we find out about this cow. Brightness, it means being attached. The sun and moon attached to heaven, grains and plants attached to earth. The sun and moon attached to heaven, yes, out in the universe, right? Out there's the sun and moon, so it's attached to the universe. It doesn't fall down on earth, which is good. Well, if it does, we're in trouble. Grains and plants attached to earth, yeah, because they grow from the earth. They need earth, so they're attached to the earth, right? Double brightness attached to what is correct. So we attached, we see clearly, so then we can choose the correct path, the correct, the way of behaving, of take the next step, living from a compassionate, bright heart, right? And that's what we are extending to the world. Thus all under heaven are transformed. Yeah, because we are inspiring people by how we act, not by how, not by what we're saying. Sometimes, yeah, our words could inspire, and words can lead people astray more often than not, right? Then actually, I think when words quite often are being used to lead people astray, and that's when we are weak within ourselves, we don't trust ourselves, and then we're listening to words that people are saying, and then we might be pulled in the wrong direction, like completely into like a very hateful or toxic environment, rather than moving into an environment where this comes from love and compassion, and then so we can cultivate that. So we need to make sure, but with double brightness we can see clearly what is correct and which path forward that we can take, right, and attach to energies that are loving and compassionate, and then grow from there, and then together create something beautiful. Okay, the yielding line attaches to the central and correct places. Yes, so this is what it is. So the yielding line is attaching to to the solid lines, right? For this reason, there's prosperity and smoothness. It is like raising a cow, it brings good fortune. So if you've got a little calf and then it grows up to a cow, then maybe you get milk and stuff from a cow. However, I'm vegan, so I don't take anything from the animal. But this, I think you have to look at, the message of that rather than actually the cow itself. Okay, brightness. So if we are raising a cow, so if we're cultivating our inner virtue, it will bring good fortune, right? We're raising ourselves like a little child up to adulthood, like true adulthood. Not adulthood, but there we are 35 years old, right? That's just an age. But true adulthood, which is like growing into wisdom. And that could be a 14-year-old. It's a lot more wise than somebody who's 50, right? It's got very little to do with age. We have the potential throughout the years, right? Because of all the experiences we have to grow wise, but it depends on how we take it. Like we could just become more bitter and bitter, right? As well. So this all lies on us. How do we do this? How do I take these things that are coming my way and how do I transmute it into wisdom and love and compassion for all sentient beings? Brightness is double, an image of the brightness of the sun. A correspondence with this, a great person continuously radiates brilliant virtue and deeds all over the world. Yeah. This is this is what we need to find, this inner brightness, the compassion, this our inner virtue, brilliant virtue, and then we need to share it with the world. So that's where we are at this moment. So that was the reading for today. I hope it was of benefit, and I really feel like how we're moving into more brightness. I can actually feel it in the energy, and I felt the shift like yesterday or the day before yesterday. It just shifted altogether, right? So we're now actually moving forward into this year of the fire horse, which is a lot of action. However, we need to remain grounded so we don't get pulled in all sorts of directions and just becoming all scattered. So Mother Earth needs to be a big part of this to ground us. So it allows us to ground ourselves in all the things that are coming throughout this year. Okay, anyway, I wish you a beautiful day.